What's happening? Welcome to the BHT Beards, Heads, and Threads YouTube channel, which is now the same, but we also have BHT Grooming, which is a added website to the BHT YouTube channel. So if you have been a part of the YouTube channel, Beards, Heads, and Threads for some time now, you have seen that there's been some changes. Obviously, the channel had a rebranding back in, I want to say February of this year, January, February, around there. And so, um, you know, Beard and Manjaro, it's what the channel used to be called. Used to talk about all kinds of stuff, Manjaro, beard care, head shaving, different product reviews, that type of stuff. But what's going on, guys? Randy, good to see you, buddy. Antonia, good to see you. Hopefully you guys are having a great day. Appreciate you guys stopping by. But it's evolved into, an all men's grooming channel. I don't talk really about Manjaro stuff anymore. I do some product reviews, more geared towards men's grooming now. But it's amazing how just the whole transformation of where I started and kind of how it's evolved to where it's at now. Um, Learning the ins and outs of things, when it comes to like beard care, head shaving, skincare, that type of stuff. A lot of people think, well, if I just shave my head, it's good enough. It's really, if that's the mentality you want to have, then, that's it's a limited viewpoint. What's up, Dave? Good to see you. Limited viewpoint. Just anybody can shave their head, but not everybody can have a great looking head. Um, Anybody could grow hair out on their face. Well, maybe not anybody, but you know what I mean. A lot of people that can grow hair on their face can grow it out, but that doesn't mean they're going to have a fantastic looking beard. I mean, the quality, the health, the parents, all these things that go into beard care. Most of you guys that's in the chat right now, you guys already know. This isn't anything new to you guys. I'm preaching to the choir. You guys already know. With great beards come great responsibility. I think that's kind of funny to say, but it's so true though. Everybody that has an amazing looking beard, behind the scenes, they have taken care of their beard. They've put the right stuff in. They've done the right things with it. So anything that you have that is something worthwhile, you have put some type of time, money, effort, all these things into it. What's going on, Dino? Good to see you, brother. Nice beard. Thank you. Appreciate it. Got 18 in here, guys. Make sure you hit the like button when you come in. So, yeah, so I'm excited. Last week, released the new company website. Good to see you, Mark. Appreciate you stopping by. Tonight, the Bearded Respect. I'm going to be on the Bearded Respect as a special guest. I'm excited about it. Don't know exactly what's going to happen there, but you just know. At least when you come on the Style and Dot show, you just never know exactly what's going to happen. We just kind of live fast and furious, at the moment, live in the moment, and, just have a good time. I live to have a good time. I love to have a good time. I love having a good time with people that are awesome people. All those guys over there, great people, fantastic. Scott, all three of them. Mike Brewer, can't say enough about them. Case of confession, yes, that beard and mustache is perfection. Appreciate it. So today I actually have Midnight Current in, some of my own beard product stuff, but if you haven't gotten over there to BHT Grooming, I have a sale going on till the end of this week. Actually, it goes to Sunday. It'll end Monday morning at 12:01. Everything's discounted right now. People say, well, that's not a huge big discount, 15%. Other people are doing higher. I just launched the company. So, I mean, I'm going to do better discounts in time, but right now starting out, 15% is where it's at. I did tell my membership yesterday, if you guys want to get discounts on merch, I normally don't do that, but I would discount for my members. BHT hats are available over there now on the website. The shirts, BHT shirts. So I'm excited about it. I'm excited about the product. I've been using it, working with it for a while now. Several formulations, a lot of formulations to kind of get the dialed in effect that I wanted. But I'm a big scent guy. I love fragrances. I love to smell good. And so when you think of BHT Grooming, I want people to think of it not only as fantastic products, like as far as the fill in beard and the moisturizing effects that it has, but the way it makes your beard look, but also the way it makes your beard smell. I'm all about trying to uh, figure out some scents that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like it makes sense to wear it because you want to look good, feel good, and smell good. But hey, Preston, what's happening, homie? Good to see you, brother. Um, so, um, but yeah, I yesterday I had like 3 or 4 people locally text me and like, hey, can you bring me some product tonight when you come to the church? And so I did that, and um, starting to see some reviews come in yesterday, which was nice. It was nice to see some reviews. So it's Deepwater Spice has become like a big hit for a lot of people. They like the aquatic and the spice together, put together. It's just I love aquatics. Most men, a majority of mass people like aquatic scents. It's mass appealing. Um, But when you add the aquatics and then you add spice together, like, you're getting the best of both worlds. Um, you're getting the aquatics, but you're also adding something that's going to add that depth to it. And if you guys know fragrances, you're gonna have fragrances that are blue fragrances like the aquatics that aren't gonna last as long because, well, that's why we wear them in the summer because the heat. Yeah, you don't want them to be too cloying, if that makes sense, where it's just like nauseating. It could be a great scent, but it could be nauseating if it's just too much. And so when you put the little bit of incense, some spice with the aquatics, it just I love it. I do. You can wear it every season and still get the best of both worlds. Um, so I'm just trying to understand. I'm trying I'm trying to understand that last comment. Okay, so I'm like, oh well, I don't know if you can really see my eyes. These are some new glasses I got. I wasn't sure what to think about them when I first got them. I like aviators, but these ones, I like the way they feel. So, anyways, that one, Midnight Current's another one that's taken off. A lot of people really like the Deepwater Spice, and then they're starting to use the Midnight Current and going, man, I don't know, this one's fantastic too. And then you have the ones that's you're gonna have oud. Oud is gonna be oud. There's several different takes on oud. I think of like one of the cleanest, nicest, I don't want to say nicest, but one that I love is obviously Beard Octane's Liquid Gold. But um, but you don't get a whole lot. I mean, you get a little bit of the oud, but it's not like a, you know, it's a smooth oud, if that makes sense. Like a really cologne type of scent of oud. It's got the tobacco, or not tobacco, but leather in it, and it's gonna have that frankincense in it that really rounds it off. Then you have oud that's like, you get the spices in it, and it's like, man, that is like really kind of pungent sometimes. And then you have like oud, kind of like Tom Ford oud, that's gonna have kind of a woodsy. And I'd say that my uh, oud essence is more kind of geared toward in the vicinity somewhere. Like if you have three different ones, you have like a beard octanes, liquid golds. You know, most of you guys know what that smells like. I love it, by the way. But then you have like on this side something like I think of Mad Vikings. What is it? Axe and Hammer. I think that's the one I'm thinking of, or you know, maybe Scuba from Beard Meds. You know, you have his oud and vanilla. I would say those two are kind of like in the same aspect, kind of on this side when it comes to that oud type of scent, and then on this far spectrum on this side, you have the Liquid Gold by Beard Octane, or you have you know, the Bearded Max, you know, Cigar Wood, or Cigar Mac. I think that's what it is. But then in the middle, you're gonna have more of like the oud woodsy type of sense. And I wouldn't even say, I mean, even Bane Blends, he's got a tobacco oud. And I would say somewhere along the lines in between those two is maybe, you know, Bane Blends. But then you have straight up like oud with wood together, like mixed together, both, you know, the best of both worlds. And I think that's kind of where mine's at. Wore it last night again. Um, you know, just to kind of get the oud. I don't do it every day. Obviously, I don't wear oud every single day. I like oud, but, you know, I like rotating my stuff. Today, Midnight Currents in my beard. Yesterday, I wore another fragrance that I don't even offer. It's kind of like, you know, a Bond Number 9 type of scent that reminds me of one that I enjoyed a lot. It's just a nice cologne. So that may come out with that may come out in like a limited drop sometime. You know, I do have one that I'm planning on dropping. It's another oud one, by the way, for all you oud lovers out there. I'm going to be dropping it in the fall, and I got a interesting name that I'm going to name it. I'm not going to say it now, but that'll happen in like maybe September. And so, by the way, if you haven't, go to bhtgrooming.com and sign up on the email subscription list, because I'm going to be dropping different scents through the emails, and also different discounts, like different seasonal discounts and stuff. So if you're not subscribe to that, it's easy to do. You just go to bhtgrooming.com, and there will be a pop-up. You know, you just type in your email address and your name, and I'll send you guys emails, you know, quarterly throughout the year of different drops. That beard could lead me anywhere, and that's funny. Well, hey, listen, I appreciate all these cool comments you're making. So, but yeah, I'm excited about it. I am getting a package together to send out to a few people that had requested some things. So I do kind of do some um, small batch, like micro batch stuff too, as far as requests sometimes too. Frankie, what's up, buddy? Hopefully you're enjoying your product. Hopefully you've received your product. Frankie was like my first sale on the website, and so I had some issues with the shipping, and I apologize. Hopefully you received it. Usually there's a tracking, I can track it all and stuff, and so but you know, that's what it is. That's what it is. It's one of those learning curves, you know. But the cool thing is, Frankie, you can always know that you are like the first sale from Shopify from BHT Grooming. So if it ever goes anywhere, like if BHT Grooming takes off, you'll always be able to say that. And also, Preston, you'll be able to say that you were like the second order down here on the, I think Preston had made a comment. He said down on um, I can't remember the saying, how he said it, down on the floor, the ground zero or something like that. I can't remember what he was saying. So, but yeah, just Just remember me when you get large. I'm gonna blame you for all the chicken that I'm eating or all the cheeseburgers and stuff when I get really big. Hopefully you enjoyed that. I started getting some comments yesterday. I'm not on Facebook, by the way. A lot of people wonder if I'm on Facebook, which I am, but I'm not, if that makes sense. People think I'm on Instagram. I am, but I'm not. I don't have, like, I don't run these accounts. I have people that run these for me that help me out. I do see what happens on those channels. I am in the know. People send me things, screenshot me things. They ask me stuff. I tell them what to put on there sometimes. Um, but I had a guy yesterday posted a review on this Deepwater Spice and said that he just really loves the aquatic, but also the spice. And then I had some other people say stuff, and I thought, man, that's kind of nice to know, to kind of at least get a feel of what people are thinking. I know what people think locally, but to get my stuff out there to different people in different states, in the bearded community to get their thoughts and stuff. It's nice to hear feedback, And so I'm just gonna tell you guys right now, I'm a tobacco guy. I love colognes and stuff, but I love Amber Trail. I love Amber Trail. My wife loves it. It's got amber in it. It's got the tobacco in it. It's just a nice. I don't know how to even explain it, and that's probably a good thing. If I was able to explain it, then it would be like, well, it smells like this person's. But um, I enjoy it a lot. It's got holding power. It lasts a long time. I did a video the other day for my membership. I released it to this morning to the public on my beard butter. I was just thinking, I put the beard butter in last night, and my nose is itching. And this morning I woke up and um, I can still feel the effect of my butter from last night, which I love that. It wasn't greasy, but I could feel it was still deeply nourishing my beard, and that made me happy. Um, Dave, you would literally like rustic timber with all the woods and oud essence. It's a lighter oud to me, but I know you're a oud guy. Yeah, for sure. And the thing of it is, with oud, you got to be careful with oud too, because um, too much of a oud, like if you put fragrance in too much of a oud, it can be kind of you got to be careful. They talk about IFRA and stuff, but and I know that IFRA is not necessarily law. Okay, it's recommendations, it's guidelines. But um, if you're not careful with that stuff, you can literally, like, and I'm not going to say, oh, you'll burn your face off, because I mean, obviously, there's some people that have really bad irritations and bad allergic reactions, and their faces will literally turn red. But I've had times where I've been had tested out different fragrances. If I'm doing like different types of notes and stuff, mixing them together and stuff, where maybe I had added a little too much of this stuff, and I had to kind of go back and figure out what it was, because I could tell my face would get a little like, I can feel the heat on my face. It didn't turn it red. It didn't last very long, but you got to be careful, because you definitely don't want to put stuff out there that's going to heat people's faces up. I mean, obviously nobody wants to have you put something on their face and they're like, oh man, that's like, it's kind of, has a burning effect. And it does, most of the time when people deal with those things, it's happened to many people, by the way. I'm not going to be the one to say, oh, I'm the only one that's ever, happened to. As a reviewer, I've had that happen before too. I've had people send me stuff to check out and give them my thoughts on it. And I'm like, okay, well, what I would probably do is dial back down a little bit on the fragrance, because um, different people respond differently. And if that's how you respond, then you probably need to consider that there's going to be other people. So the oud could be stronger. It absolutely could. But I would rather be on the side of it not being as strong and not burning people's faces off than be to where like it's super super strong and it burns your face off. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, I'm glad you like that, Preston. I know that Preston had gotten a beard butter of the oud essence and also rustic timber. And in fact, Preston, you had made a comment that you had said that the rustic timber reminded you of like some dead man's, a mixture of dead man's. I think you said, uh, oh, True North Beard Co. And then there was another one you had mentioned. I couldn't remember who it was. I thought there was three different companies that you'd said that it kind of reminded you of different pieces of these different fragrances or these different oils and scents that they had offered, something like that. Dead Man's and Noble, that's what it was. Noble product. The Saint Wood. Man, my nose is itching. I'm trying to grow my mustache out, and sometimes it really just messes with right in here, and it just ugh, it's one of those moments. You know what I mean? Like when you're growing your mustache out and it's awkward. Um, Snowblind. Okay. Dead man. So, which makes sense because the rustic timber does have guaic wood in it, and that's the same as that Noble has with their Saint Wood. So that's what you're picking up on that. It's got some different notes in there, honestly. So, but yeah, I mean, it's interesting because there's so many, like everybody I know around me that has tried them, they all like different scents. Like one will love this one will love this one, and it's just because everybody's just different on what they love on the scents. Um, but the oil for me has worked great. It's I was gonna ask also, if you've tried the oil, have you noticed your beard hair laying straighter without even really trying too hard? Because the marilla oil that I have put in my stuff, I feel like the blend that I use, it works really well with laying your beard straight. Like you don't have to work as hard, in my opinion. This is just my opinion with laying my beard straight. Like, my beard wants to kind of get a little wavy sometimes, and it gets a lot worse with certain different carriers. But with that blend that I have, it seems like it lays a lot straighter. And I have like my father-in-law, he's grown his beard out and he's got a great looking beard. Never had it before, but he uses my products all the time, and he noticed the same thing as well with his. How long have you grown your beard for? I'd say I've been growing it for the last 3 years. I took a lot off of it over the last 3 years as far as like trimming it down. But I'd say since like October, November last year, I've kind of practically let it grow to its full, so far to its potential. Trying to grow mine out, but it's a little patchy. But after like 3 or 4 months, when it all grows, hey, there's nothing wrong with that. A lot of, Greg, what's his name? Greg Bruzinski, I think that's his last name. He'll even say he's got patchy spots, and he's got a great looking beard. A lot of guys have patchy beards, but the longer they let it grow, the better it looks because it just, covers a lot of the patchy areas on their face. So one of the best things when it comes to patchy beards is just letting it grow, just taking care of it, time, water, like hydration, the right products. And so those are going to be like the number 3 things um, that you can do to really enhance beard growth. A lot of people want to promise like beard growth serums and stuff. A lot of that's gimmicks. We do know peppermint, things like this, these essential oils can help stimulate beard growth. Obviously, you could say minoxidil hasn't really been proven though for the face, but on the head. For in my case, the minoxidil did not work very well for hair growth. But somebody had asked me last night. They said, I seen a video online where this all natural person said that if you do like onions and this and this and this, and you double boil it and this, and you put it on the places where you want your hair to grow, it'll grow. Would you ever consider doing that? And I just looked down and said, no, I wouldn't. I said, I did a review about 3 or so years ago where I tried to grow my hair back. 6 months later, it didn't really work. But I just honestly, I don't even really care to grow hair back. I'm actually happy to be bald. I'm happy to have a shaved head. I own it now. This is just my look. This is who I am. I'm a bald guy. I shave my head and I'm happy with it, you know. And you have to be happy with who you are. You got to be happy in your own skin, um, because that's who you are. You know, you can't be somebody you're not. And God made you the way you are, and you just have to just be the best version of yourself. I mean, just try to be the best that you can. And, you know, you're the way you are because that's the uniqueness of who you are. I mean, don't try to be like everybody else because it'd be a boring world if we're all the same. We all have to be different, and we all have different qualities, different characteristics that we have, personalities, obviously looks, you know, some are better than others. But you are uniquely made for a reason. And so I'm happy. I'm happy shaving my head. Obviously, I had beards, heads, and threads for a reason. Talk about beard stuff and head shaving stuff. So I told the guy last night, I said, what kind of company, what kind of beard company would I be if I had a shaven, freshly, like clean shaven face and I'm trying to sell beard products? Or if I had a head of hair and I'm trying to sell head shaving stuff? I mean, it would be a marketing gimmick. That's how people would look at it. They'd say, well, this guy, he's trying to sell beard stuff and he doesn't even have a beard, or this guy's trying to sell head shaving stuff and he's got, you know, he doesn't even have a bald head. So um, I like head shaving. I love beard care. I love clothing. Get those three together and you have men's grooming. You have beards, heads, and threads. I like to look good, feel good, and smell good. And so, um, and that's it's all about just trying to take care of yourself. It's not that hard to take care of yourself. A lot of people just don't want to do it. It's just comes down to a decision, and do you want to put your best foot forward, if you will, and so I'm always, in the mindset of trying to put my best foot forward, try to take care of myself, health wise, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, physically, all of it. So, any questions? You guys have any questions out there? I'd be more than happy to help you guys out and answer any questions that you have today for me. I'm actually waiting on my wife. She's in an appointment right now. So I'm her chauffeur. You like that chauffeur today. And so I thought I'd jump on a live. I try to go on lives as much as I can when I have the time to do it. And so, but I wanted to get on here and share with you guys tonight, the Beard of Respect. If you guys are free, it's going to be 8 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time. If you're on the East Coast, it's going to be 9 p.m. And if you're like in California, like Dave, that would be 6 p.m. So 6 p.m. Hopefully you guys will make it tonight. I'm trying to think what else I was going to say. Oh, yeah. You guys got big plans for Father's Day this weekend? It's the big Father's Day this weekend. Maybe you guys have kids. Maybe you don't have a dad anymore, like he's dead. He's already passed on. I'm just curious. So a vision in the future, near future, hopefully near future. I plan on maybe making some fragrances of my own. on the BHT Grooming website, and maybe eventually evolving into like deodorants, body wash, that type of stuff. I am actually working right now on some head shaving stuff, products like pre-shave oil. Obviously, most people know, you can get away with like beard oils, but like something that is specifically like tailored to like a pre-shave oil, like something that's going, you may not have to have all these other oils in there for shaving your head, but certain different ones that I feel like work really good with, softening up the follicle when it comes to head shaving. Good sense, by the way, when it comes to that. But something where you can do like a one-stop shop deal type deal, where you might, there's several places you can go buy some great, fantastic products. There's no lie about it. I'm not lying. I'm not gonna tell you there's not. But sometimes people just like to go to one place and just buy everything and be done with it. And so it'd be nice to kind of have some type of all men's grooming one stop shop type of deal, um, in the vein of like my take on stuff. Like, that would be the thing that would be separate and different, because there's a lot of there's a lot of things out there that are good, but there's a lot of things out there that are just okay, and trying to come up with something that's different, try to evolve and make something that's kind of you know innovative. Um, Heck, I would love to have my own head shaver one of these days. I would love to have a vision. I've got the vision, but I would love to take the best of both. All the worlds of when it comes to, when I say worlds, I mean like different products I've tried. I don't know why I said worlds, but all the different head shavers out there that I've tried that have failed in this aspect, but has really succeeded in this one. Try to take all the pluses and make them all together into one amazing head shaver, and to be able to figure out how to do that and make it reasonably priced, would be something awesome, would be something incredible to do. Um, and, and I think it can happen. I think that with the right uh, knowledge base, the right opportunities, I think it can happen. And so, is BHT Grooming a beard company? No, it's a men's grooming company that specializes in beard care, head shaving products, and so men's grooming. A lot of people uh, have companies for beard care, and I love them. There's a lot of them I love, a lot of them I just don't care for. Um, Obviously, the ones I don't really care for are going to be more like the big, yeah, the big ones, that don't really care for the products and stuff. They're just out there to try to make the money. And most of you guys know which ones those are. They're gonna have cheap ingredients, cheap products, and you really get what you pay for. You really do. It's been like this forever. I'm a musician, so you get what you pay for with instruments, with vehicles, with everything. I mean, every now and then you'll get a good deal. I'm not gonna lie, but you do. For the most part, everything is gonna it's gonna cost. I mean, if you got a high quality ingredient stuff, it's gonna cost, but you don't want to be too far up there too. So, um, I think that, man, I feel like I got a frog in my throat today. So sorry, guys. Allergies. I got bad allergies. But to be able to say, well, I'm a beard company, but I'm also a head shaving company. So targeting bald guys with beards would be obviously a plus for me, because I'm a bald guy and I have a beard. But I also can help guys that have hair on head with beards, and I also ones that are bald and have no beards. Because there's bald guys that have clean shaven faces. If you don't believe it, look at Uncle Fester, or was it Uncle Fester. I used to be 300 pounds. I used to be like really pale complected white. And I used to be like, I used to think of myself like Uncle Fester from the Adams Family, big old fat, chunky, bald guy, no facial hair. So I will say this: at the end of the day, facial hair it definitely makes guys more masculine for sure, no doubt about it. In my opinion, and most people will say the same thing. You know, more masculine, more mature with a beard than a clean shaven face. And so, would I ever have a clean shaven face again? Heck no, never, ever. You know, would I ever shave it all off and keep the mustache? Probably not. You know, I'm okay with rocking a mustache. I mean, I love mustache. I think they look fantastic on some guys. But for me, I just don't like my chin without hair. I don't. I think it's kind of it's kind of funny actually. um, I just don't. You know, and I've got a scar right here from when I was younger on a bicycle, flew off forward and busted my chin. Um, and I just don't think I look very good with my chin being shaved. I used to have the whole goatee for a long time, short beard, and I mean like short beard. But but I'll tell you what, ever since I grew a beard, my wife, she will not even let me cut my beard. Like she doesn't even want me taking anything off this beard at all. And I'm a blessed man for that because there's a lot of guys out there, God bless your hearts, um, where your wife just don't want you to grow a beard. Like she doesn't like the beard. Maybe she'll let you grow the beard, but you know she doesn't really like it. But for all of us blessed guys that in this aspect where your families, like your parents, your wife, your kids, they love your beard and they want you to keep it and continue to grow it. It just seems like it's a lot easier when you have a support system around you um, that want you to have a beard, and I've heard people say, well, if my husband could grow a beard like you, then I'd be okay with that and stuff. Well, yeah, it goes back to how are you taking care of your beard? If your husband's just letting it grow wild and doesn't care and it's coarse, feels like straw hay straw or straw hay, whatever you want to call it, um, then yeah, obviously your wife's not going to want you to have a beard. It's what kind of woman's wanting to kiss up against their husband or their boyfriend that's got a beard that's really sharp and coarse and cuts their face? They don't want that. I'm going to try and not do any major trimming until just before my wedding in September. Awesome. Hey, congratulations, Randy, on your upcoming wedding, dude. Awesome. Yeah, I think I've seen your beard before. I think it'll look really good for sure. My wife loves my beard. My son and grandkids also do also. I believe it's more than the man who wears it. More the man who wears it properly than the actual beard. It's the man who maintains and keeps it clean and smell. Absolutely, for sure. For sure. Yep, absolutely. It's with great beards come great responsibility, and you got to take care of that thing. And it's just it becomes a personality, like who you are. I will say this: a lot of guys that grow a beard and it looks really, really good. It's like it's a good self confidence booster when people say, you have an amazing looking beard. Um, you know, wow, what a great looking beard. I wish my beard was like that. Or man, how long did it take you to grow a beard and this and this and this and this and this. Um, and so um, I think that taking care of yourself physically helps mentally. I also feel like, when you feel like you're healthy wise, it makes you feel better. same way, you know, like if you feel like, you know, you're out of shape and stuff, you're just kind of depressed. But when you feel like you're getting into shape and you're moving in the right direction, you feel good. So a lot of guys, they may not have the beard they want to have, but thank God they don't have the beard they used to have. Does that make sense? Like, you know, your beard may have been really short and just didn't really have nothing going on at the time, but you got something going on right now. You're not where you want to go, but you're headed in the right direction. And so if you're heading in the right direction, that's what matters, because you know you have a vision where you want to see, just like you, Randy. You have a vision where you want your beard to be at in September when you're getting married. So you're just going to take the right steps to get to that point. And what's the right steps? Well, you want to get that fullness. You want to get that depth. You want to let it grow, and you just let it grow. And then when it gets to the point, you know, where you're happy, you can then shape it, or kind of tame the flyaways and take off some transparency, whatever you want to do. So I know a lot of times people want to take so much transparency off, and I get it. I mean, nobody wants to have transparency, but I think that goes a long ways in life in itself. Nobody wants to have transparency as a person, but just speaking of the beard, a lot of people don't want to have that transparency, and then they cut it, and when they cut it, they take too much off. And so, you know, it's almost like the best advice would be, you know, if you feel like you're going to cut you're going to transparent cut your beard to where you take the little transparencies off to make it look like it's more even. But if you feel like you're going to mess it up, you'd be better off just letting that thing grow out fully. And then at that point, when it's all grown in together, see, some guys though, they're not going to be able to grow a full in beard down here, you know, down to here where there's no transparency. It just, for some guys, it just won't work. Some guys it will. For me, you know, I feel like, and somebody had said this the other day, and I agreed with them. Um, you know, I took some off the front here, a little too much, and I have fuller hair, like longer back here. Um, so yeah, there's going to be some transparency issues that I have to deal with. But if I want this up here to grow down to where it's not transparent, I got to give it time, you know, and sometimes it can take a good while of time to get there. But once it gets to the point where this is down far enough where I can do transparency cuts, my beard's going to be long enough where I'll still be happy with it instead of cutting it too short. A lot of guys, they do transparency cut because the hairs on the front are shorter than in the back here. And so you just do the math on that. If you try to cut this back down to where there's no transparency, you're going to cut your beard like way shorter. So you'd be better off just letting that thing grow all the way out to the point where it's long enough where you're okay to take off, you know, whatever the length it's going to be to keep that transparency from being on there. So, but that's just my advice. You know, I mean, take it for what it's worth. You know, they say opinions are like armpits. You know, everybody's got a couple of them, and most of the time they stink. Um, you know, we always want to think our advice and our opinions are the smartest, brightest ideas ever. But I've been wrong before too. I don't get on here to proclaim that what I say is gospel. What I do is tell you my thoughts and my opinions going off myself. You know, and I think that just goes down to, you know, being authentic of, you know, I'm not gonna act like I have it all together and I know everything about it, but what I will tell you is what I've discovered from myself. And this is what I've discovered. And do I think that I'm anything more special than another man? No. I'm a normal man like everybody else. Things that I deal with is the same exact stuff that every other man deals with. So if I deal with things and it affects me this way and that way, then you know it's going to do the same thing for other people. So yeah, I know there's going to be anomalies out there. There's going to be guys that are going to have way better this and that than a lot of us guys, but majority of men are the same. I mean, you know, we're all the same. You know, we're gonna have some people that just, you know, might have better genes. For instance, there's gonna be some guys that out there that have a head of hair. I can't have a head of hair, but again, there's gonna be a lot of guys out there that have bald heads, you know, and then there's gonna be a lot of guys out there that have bald heads that haven't shaved their heads either, and they don't even know if they should shave their heads because there's a stigma against bald people. Like, you know, well, I don't want to shave my head because then I'm going to look like a weirdo or I'm going to look like an old man. But that's where I have to come in and say, no, you probably already look like an old man. You know, I mean, when you have hair that's falling out on your head and you have a lot of hair on the sides of your head, you got a cul-de-sac on your head, or you have a horseshoe that we've been hearing about for years, kind of joked around, that is probably a good time and sense to shave it all off and just, yeah, there's going to be a culture shock, you know, around you. People are going to be like, oh my gosh. But I guarantee you, most of them around you are going to love it and say, man, you look so much better with the bald head. I remember when I first shaved my head, when was it? It was probably about 16 years ago. um, People were probably like, "What in the world? I can't believe you shaved your head." And now people are just like, "Yeah, you got a shaved head." I mean, that's just how they know me. And it's you just got to grow through that and just know that this is who you are. You know, I got tired of going to the hair, you know, the barber shop, getting my hair cut when I had hardly anything to cut on top. You know, I thought, you know, trying to justify paying the ever growing prices for haircuts these days. It's crazy. I mean, that was 15 years ago. I mean, today, you know, you go to the barber, you're going to pay over $30 every time to get a haircut. It's crazy, you know, and, you know, that's why I was like, you know what, I'm going to buy a head shaver. And I started out with like a two head, you know, Norelco head shaver and three, and now four, five, six, all the way up to seven now that I have. And, you know, trying all different ones out and seeing which ones work, which ones I just don't care for. And, you know, just making my own discovery, my own thought on it and using my brain on, okay, well, what works and what doesn't and why do I like it? Why this one may work just as good as this one, but why do I like this one better than this one? And it comes down to a lot of times preference. Do you want a circular head shaver or do you want one that's going to be more like a palm type of a mouse type, you know, or one that's got a handle? You know, innovation goes so far and then it comes down to style, battery life, all that stuff, you know, or cosmetics, aesthetics, whatever you want to call it. But I think one thing nowadays that a lot of guys, obviously, we know there's a lot of guys out there that have beards that are uneducated. I was talking to somebody on the Style Dial show the other night. They were saying, I think it was um, Jay. Um, I think he was the one that was saying, I think it was Jay. I can't remember. I think it was Jay, but they were saying, I think it was, yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Jay. He was saying that he's talked to several guys about beard care and they think it's just like beard, like snake oil, like it's just a fake deal. They're just trying to get your money. There's going to be guys out there like that. And then there's going to be guys out there that even to this day, I think it's even more. So they look at like skincare as like a feminine deal. And I'm just going to be honest with you. 15 years ago, 10 years ago, even maybe 5 years ago, if you would have talked to me about skincare, I'd been like, you know what, that sounds like something for girls, you know, skincare. Like you take your lotion, you know, you take your lotion, you take your whatever, your creams or whatever this weird stuff is, and you just keep that in the makeup section and area. And you know, I'm a guy, I'm a man, I you know, don't get hooked up, you know, hung up on that type of stuff. But as a guy that shaves his head all the time, you know, what does people stare at when they see you? They stare at your face, you know, they see your head. It's a first appearance. First appearances, they do matter. I mean, especially in business. Um, And so, you know, you want to take care of the things people stare at and see. And so if you have somebody that's always constantly staring at your head and it don't look good, you know, you want to probably think about that and think, well, what can you do to make it look better, and not just look better, but be better, healthier, you know, protect yourself, your skin from getting like skin cancer or all these things. And I think there needs to be more of an awareness that, you know, it's not just about trying to look good, but it's also about health wise, you know, taking care of your skin, you know. Um, you know, there's a lot of guys out there and women that have had skin cancer on their face and stuff, you know, and then they get these surgeries and they have to cut them off their face and stuff. And that's a lot of that stuff can be honestly prevented from how you know, with small things that you just incorporate. And so I think skincare, beard care is skincare. I think, you know, people want to have the beard, but they don't realize that it all starts with your skin. That's why we put beard oil in. People think beard oil is just for hair, but it's not. It's for your skin. Okay. The oil for your beard is a secondary, you know, it's a secondary effect. It does help your hair, but the main deal is your skin. And so, you know, you have your sebaceous glands, you know, the sebum oil that comes from your face. And so, the longer your hair grows out on your face, the less oil it has. And so it causes a lot of irritation, itchy, feeling, and also causes a lot of beard drift. A lot of people have dandruff in their beard and they don't even know why, because their skin is dry. It starts with skin care. And so all amazing beards that look fantastic and healthy, I guarantee you they're using the right products to make it happen. And so a lot of people are just uneducated like that. So, but anyways, I wanted to jump on here and share that with you guys. Wasn't gonna go into skincare and all that stuff and head shaving stuff. I wanted to get on here and share with you guys. I'm gonna be on the Beard of Respect later, but I wanted to kind of tell you guys about you know, BHTgrooming.com. If you haven't went over there, check it out. You know, get on over there. Become a subscriber of the email so that way I can contact you guys when I'm dropping a new release or discounts, stuff like that. So I'm gonna jump off here. I hope you guys have a great afternoon. Okay, guys, sorry about that. My phone overheated. I had the AC off, and so yeah, it overheated. So um, just getting back on here to say, hopefully you guys can come by the Beer Respect tonight and say what's up. Drop me a link or a comment, not a link. Drop me a comment down in the comment section tonight on the Beer Respect, and would love to help you guys out and say what's up. So see you later, guys. Take care.